Okay, you got your brand new spy watch, you're ready to use it, perhaps you've already powered it up, you've taken video, and now you want to know how do you get the files from the watch onto your computer so that you can watch them. Okay, now we've already saved a file on here real quick. I'm not going to go over that because that's pretty much covered in the instructions. So the first thing you do is you take the USB cord which comes with the watch. You plug this end into the watch. You make sure it's in there nice and firm. Sometimes it'll make a clicking noise when it's all the way in. Just to show you that again, you can tell when it's in all the way like this. Watch, see that last bit? Watch. See that? You know it's in all the way. Now you take the other end right here and you plug this into your computer. So I'm going to plug it into one of the USB ports on my computer. Now watch what happens. Now do you see what happens? Now generally you'll get this autoplay feature coming up. This is Windows 7. Windows 8, it's a little bit different. But generally you get an autoplay feature box come up. Okay, and generally what I do is if you want to look at your folders right away, you can use some of these other items, but I go right down to open folder to view files. Okay, open folder to view files. Now before I click on that, look over here. Okay, now before I had just my, this is my computer's hard drive that my operating system is on. It's called ASUS. It's a C drive, okay? Now my computer is going to be different than yours because I not only have my normal hard drive, but I also have 1, 2, 3, 4 other hard drives installed on my computer plus an external drive. So your computer, underneath computer, you're probably just going to see your C drive. It's not going to probably say Intel i7 because that's what I named my computer. So yours is going to be C something. It's going to be something else with a C, okay? So this is generally, you're going to see a C drive. Then you won't see any of these, okay? But when I plug this item in, this popped up, removable disk. And it just labeled it a K. Now yours might not be labeled K. Yours will probably be labeled D or E or F or something like that because you won't have all these other drives. See, Windows assigns a new letter as it detects hard drives. So when I powered up my computer, it assigned letters to all these, to put it simply. And then basically when I plug in a removable storage, it assigns it the next available drive letter, which happens to be K. Now, as I was saying, if you get this dialog box, then it's really easy from here, okay? You might not. We'll cover that in a second. But if you do get this dialog box, which says autoplay at the top, and removable disk, whatever, whether it's D, C, E, F, or whatever, then just click this open folder. Left click with your mouse, this selection right here. So left click, and watch what happens. Okay, now you're gonna get a window open here. Now the important thing to remember about this window is that it tells you where you're at, because it says computer and then it says removable disk. So that's where you want to be. Okay. Now generally you're going to see, you might or you might not see a subfolder right here. This watch automatically creates this subfolder. Okay, if you were to format this hard drive to wipe that off so it's gone, this watch, the next time you powered it up, it would put this folder back in. That's just the way they work. Okay. So now if you look down here, we're talking about things like root directories, okay? Like if you're changing the timestamp and whatnot, just real quick, like if you're changing the timestamp on the video, your time text file has to go right here, okay? What's the root directory? It's basically the topmost directory. So when this is highlighted, removable disk K, that's the topmost directory, okay? In that watch, this is the root directory. In the root directory, you've got a DCIM folder. Now, you don't put the timestamp, the time set file in a DCIM folder, okay, when you're setting the timestamp on your watch. You put it in the root directory of the watch, okay? So the timestamp file will end up right here. It'll say time.txt, okay? So I'll put a file in there real quick just to show you. So here's where your time file would end up if you're trying to set the time on the watch. If you're trying to set the timestamp, it'd end up right here. Okay, you'll see the DCIM folder. Or if you're using a different watch, this folder might be named differently. But the key is that if you go over here to all your drives, here's a drive, here's a drive. These are different physical drives. I can actually take each one of these out of my computer, and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 different hard drives. I'll have 6 separate ones sitting on my desk. Okay, and then if I was to take the watch and unplug that, then I'd have number 7 because that's removable storage also. You can think of the watch as its own hard drive. So the main thing is when you're trying to get to the root directory, just click on the drive. whenever you're clicking on one of these drive letters, you're getting right to the main directory. So if you want to go to the root directory of your C drive, click on it. And then boom, right here, all these folders are in the root directory. If you want to add a folder to your root directory by clicking New Folder, boom, you've just added a new folder to your root directory. Okay, so that's the simplest way to explain that. I'm just going to delete that because I don't need it. So where are your files at on the watch? Well, let's go back. Let's click on a removable disk. And once you click on a removable disk, you have this DCIM folder. Let's double click on that. And then underneath that, you have another subfolder. So double click on that. I'm using the left mouse button, by the way, to double click. Just like that. Okay, and that takes us to our one video file, which we've already created. Now to play the file, you double click on it. You can tell it's going to open up in VLC Media Player. I happen to like using VLC Media Player to play my my videos, but you might have a different icon up here depending on what your default software is for playing videos. Okay, now you can change your default software for playing videos by right-clicking on a file, right mouse button, and you'll get a menu that pops up. And you can either go play, and if you play it, it's going to play in VLC, or you can go down to and you can go open with, and then you can select a different media player to open it up with. For example, let's just for fun, let's just open this using Windows Media Player. So we're going to open this picked 0001 file that we just created. It's on our watch right now, and we're going to left click on Windows Media Player, which will open the video in Windows Media Player. So left click.
Video test, testing 1, 2, 3. Video
and there is our video that we just created with the watch. Now, one trick I want to tell you is, generally when you're watching videos from your watch, you don't want to play it from your watch. You want to first take the file from this directory. You want to right click on it, right mouse button in Windows, and then you want to go copy. So left click, okay, and then you want to go to, say for example, we're going to paste the file in this hard drive on my computer. Okay, this is hard drive H. It's one of my backup drives. It's a 4 terabyte drive. You're not going to have this on your computer. You're going to probably go and put yours on your C drive somewhere or in your documents or something. But just for simplicity, I'm going to put mine on my hard drive, which is on my computer. So I'm going to right click, right mouse button, and I'm going to click paste. So left click. Okay, now do you see how I just copied this? Now what we just did is we copied that file from your watch onto a hard drive. Now why would you want to play it from a hard drive, from one of these hard drives, or from your C drive, or from your desktop for that matter? Or you can stick it in downloads. You can really stick it anywhere you want as long as you remember where you're putting them. Okay? So you can put them anywhere as long as they're going onto a hard physical drive, which is located inside your computer. See, we're taking it from the watch and we're moving it through this data transfer cable and we're putting it inside one of my hard drives. Okay, I could show you my hard drives. I'll show you my hard drives really quick, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Now your computer's not going to look like this, but you can see I've got C drive, I've got E drive, F drive, G drive. Okay. And then H, which is down here. Okay, so I have all these. Now I just stuck that file from this watch onto one of these hard drives. I think I stuck it onto this one. The reason why you want to put it on a hard drive is because data transfer will go faster while playing. It'll go fast through this SATA 2 cable, and it'll play really fast, or it'll play as fast as possible onto your monitor. When you're piping it from a hard drive and playing it through your processor, through your motherboard, and onto your screen, it's much faster than playing it from the watch. If you play it from the watch, then the watch has to pipe out that video through this USB 2.0 wire, and it's not very fast. So now we actually have 2 copies of this file in existence. We have one on my hard drive and one which is still on the watch. Okay, we have 2, and I'll show you that here. This is what I love about Windows 7, is you can grab these and throw them over this way. There, now I just divided up my screen into 2 screens. So over here we've got the hard drive where we stuck the file. We're going to leave that there. Now over here, where's my root directory on my watch again? I'm going to take you through this again. Remember, it's removable disk K. So if I left click on that on my computer, it takes me right back to my watch. This is the stuff that's on my watch right now. It's actually inside this watch on the micro SD card. Okay, so I'm going to double click and I'm going to show you how that file is still there. And then double click on the subdirectory folder, subfolder, and then there's our file. So look, we've got picked one here, and we've got picked one here also. It's the exact same file. We made a copy of it. Okay, now let's just delete this. I'm going to show you another thing you can do. We're going to delete this second copy that we made over here. I'm going to hit the delete key on my computer. Yes, I want to delete that. So what we did to copy that is we right clicked here and we clicked left clicked on copy. Okay, and then we came over here and we right clicked and we pasted. So we just moved this file from here to here. Now another way you can do it, delete that file again. We can what's called cutting and pasting. Instead of copying, we'll cut it. Cut it means you literally snip it out and then paste it over here. So it disappears from here and then goes to here. So we're going to make it disappear from the watch and we're going to make it appear on your hard drive, on your internal hard drive on your computer. So right click. This time we're selecting cut. Instead of copy, we're selecting cut. Now it's just an easy way of moving the file over here and then deleting it over here. Okay, so now that we've selected cut, we're going to right click over here and we're going to click paste. Okay, now look what happened. It moved it from here over to here. Okay, so let's paste it back. Let's just have fun with this. Let's right click over here and now let's copy it again. Now let's copy it from our hard drive over to back to our watch. We'll stick it right back on our watch again. Right click, paste. Boom. Now it takes a little longer because the USB cord takes a while for the data to go through compared to, say, for example, a SATA 2 cable. Now if you're ever running into any problems with your watch, a lot of the problems have to do with this internal micro SD card in the watch ending up corrupt. Okay, and a lot of times what can happen is you can end up with some folders here that aren't working right. It's like some people, one guy returned a watch to me, he said it doesn't work, and I was like, what's wrong with it? He said it doesn't work, it won't recognize it anymore. And what he had done is he had actually taken some files, some Word documents. It was from some homework from his school, and he took it from his hard drive and he stuck it on the watch to use it as a mass storage device. That's fine, but your watch won't work properly if you do that. If you stick a bunch of folders on here with like different pictures and from other programs, yeah, you can do that, but then it'll make this watch kind of mess up because it'll look through these directories and you'll have a bunch of weird folders with a bunch of weird names like this or whatever. If I start putting folders on here, new folder, let's just add a bunch of new folders. Here we go. Now I just added a bunch of new folders just by clicking this button. Now if we try to play this is on my watch. I just added all these folders onto this watch in the micro SD card. Now if I try to use my watch and if I power it up, it's going to give me an error. It's going to probably flash 3 times and shut down. An easy way to clear everything off your watch in order to make it usable again if you're having errors with it is come down here to make sure you're right clicking. Use the right mouse button. Okay, right mouse button, and then you get a menu selection that comes up, and you want to select format. Use the left mouse button to click format. So left click. Okay. Now you can see various things here. You can see the capacity is almost 8 gigabytes. It never shows 8, by the way. That's a whole other story. And then it gives you an option to quick format. Just do a quick format and watch what happens to these files up there when I format the drive, okay? So we're going to click start and it's going to give us a warning. It's warning. Formatting will erase all data on this disk. To format it, click OK. So we're going to left click again. And what we're doing is we're wiping everything off the internal memory on the watch camera, okay? So we're going to click OK and watch what happens. These will disappear. So we're going to click OK. So left click. Oh, the whole thing disappeared. Okay, now if we go down to removable disk K now and left click on it, there's nothing there. We just erased everything on there. So your watch is now clean and free of any kind of anything. Okay? If you plug your watch in and you don't get that dialog box that comes up that says auto start, another way you can find the files and folders on your watch is by going down here to the start button. Go down here to the start button. Left click And this is in Windows 7. Windows 8 is a little bit different, but it's the same kind of idea. Now up here you should see something that says computer. It's right here. This is really important. Okay? This is your computer. If you think about it, this is your computer and what's hooked up to it and everything like that. So we're going to left click on computer. Okay? And then this is what comes up. Now here you can see a graphical display. This screen is no different than these screens back here. It's just formatted differently. Okay? See, I can actually go to my K drive just by left clicking, and boom, we get the same blank screen as we see right up here. Okay, so to get to the computer, you actually just click on computer, left click, and there's another way to see all your hard drives. Here's all my hard drives. My C drive is halfway full. This drive is mostly full. This one is mostly full. This one's full to bursting. And this one's full, and this one's halfway full. Now underneath here, this is important here, here's your hard disk drives, and here's your devices with removable storage. Okay, I have a DVD writer in my computer, but that's not what we're looking at. We're looking for removable disks. Okay, and it might be K, it might be D, it might be whatever, but here's another way of seeing it. Okay, so we're going to double left click on that, and again you can see that there are no files or folders on the watch. Just remember that the processes on Windows 7 on this machine are very similar for Windows 8 as far as going down here to the start button and clicking on computer. That's the main key. Click on the start button, then left click on computer, and that's where you'll get up, and you should see this drive here. You'll see your watch or whatever device you're using, whether it's a clock camera or a pen spy camera or whatever. You'll see it show up as removable storage. Once you get there, you just double left click, and right here is where your files will be if you've recorded video files. Now if you happen to have a Windows 8 computer, this laptop is actually Windows 8, and I'm going to show you the exact same process using Windows 8. We're going to be using a different watch this time. Different style of watch, same procedure. Take the cable, plug it into the watch, then take the other end, plug it into an open USB port, and watch what happens. Okay, nothing's happened. Oh, there it goes. Now, this machine, this Windows 8 machine, just happened to pop up automatically with the contents of this watch. And you can see the exact same type of setup here as in Windows 7. Over here you got the navigation pane, which allows you to navigate to your different internal hard drives and external drives. And then over here you can see what is in that specific drive. So using the same exact idea, you can navigate around and you can see, this is an example of what I was saying about sometimes you see different folders. This is stock. This watch happens to have 3 folders, photo, record, and video, and then it also has the time text file automatically installed. So a different watch, slightly different, but otherwise everything is the same. So in this case, in order to see the video file we just recorded, we'd move the mouse to the video folder, left click, double left click, press twice, and then now we see a movie file. Now the icon next to this one happens to be a Windows Media Player icon. That means when we double click on it, it's going to open up in Windows Media Player. So we're going to double left click. Takes just a second. Now we're playing it from the watch, so it takes a little while because, again, going through a USB port, it takes longer. You see how it skips? I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know if you noticed the skipping, it kind of skipped a little bit. That's because the playback is a little bit slow. It didn't do it that time. That time it ran just fine. Now let's pretend that this did not pop up. Let's say that you plugged your watch in and nothing happened. Well, in Windows 8, how do you find your watch? How do you find out where your watch is using your computer? And the answer is this. Move your mouse pointer to the bottom of your screen, and you should have a little file folder right here. It's a little file folder right next to the Windows Start button thing. There's a file folder. Now if you take your mouse button and you hover over that and you left click It's File Explorer. And you'll get the same setup, almost the identical same thing almost as in Windows 7. Very, very similar. Same thing. Up here we've got folders. Right here we got devices and drives. And right here we happen to have our removable disk F. This is our watch right here. It's not here, it's not here, it's not here, it's not here. It's removable disk F in my case, okay? So I will go over here to removable disk F, and if you're not sure, just start clicking on stuff. Just start left clicking. Look here, wherever, and eventually you'll find it. Now I'm going to double left click, and I double left clicked, and now we have our files and folders. Now one more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I put some files on here, and I need to erase those files. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over to removable disk F, which I know is this watch. I'm going to right click on that using the right mouse button over here. I'm going to go down to Format, okay, and I'm going to left click once, okay, and then it comes up with the same dialog box, and then we're going to go ahead and left click on Start. So that's that button right down here. We move the mouse over there, left click on Start. It gives us a warning. It says, are you sure you want to erase all this data? Warning, formatting will erase all data. Yes, we do. We want to hover over the OK button and click left, or click the left mouse button. Now one thing about this watch as opposed to the 1080p models is that these watches, they take a little while to format. I don't know whether that's because the architecture is different or what exactly is the deal is, but you'll notice it's sitting here and it's taking a little bit of a time to format this particular style of watch. And then look, now sometimes you'll get an error. It just says Windows was unable to complete the format. That's pretty typical. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Just left click on OK and then do it again. We're left clicking on Start again. We're going to format it again. We get the same warning. Left click OK. I'm glad it did that because sometimes it happens with these watches. I don't know why, but it does. So, and it always, every single time, the second time you try to format it, it actually works. And so you'll see that here in just a minute here. This one is my 720 by 480 model. You can see it takes a little bit of time. It actually takes quite some time, relatively speaking, compared to other thumb drives. Other thumb drives, they instantly format. For whatever reason, this watch takes a while. And there it goes. See, format complete. See how long that took? I don't know why it does that. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. Then you just click OK, and we're done. There's nothing on the watch. When you unplug it, usually you want to unplug from the computer side first, and then unplug from the watch side. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, just write them down in the comments.